Today we share splendid advice on how to generate more expressive photographs.
Greetings! I'm Rodger Newbold, host for the Experience Photography's video podcast, episode presentation number 66. And welcome to Studio One North. Now, my great friend, my partner, and splendid photographer and editor for this episode is Mr. Matt Rich. My friend, what are we doing to build our photo proficiency today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 100 a day, Rodger.
Excellent. All right. In episode 65, we spoke about attempting to do our best and focusing on benefits gained through hard work. Today, we're going to explore additional methods for improving our images. So, on with the show. I have been there and photographed that. Sometimes the photographs don't seem to work out. Today's casual effort of having been there and done that, the statistical calculations class method, may also apply to additional endeavors in our life as well. And we may all stem from a common point. Let's look at a bit closer under the circumstances. And why do some say, wow, and others simply lay mercilessly on the page? In the most recent past episode, number 65, we examined perseverance, resolve, and tenacity. We talked about staring fear right in the face. Well, and then overcoming it with Lord Tennyson's 600 riding into the Valley of Death. Now, reviewing ambitious accomplishments of some diverse candidates and a group of artworks, plus some photographs of mine and friends, requires that we unravel the twisted DNA of the final product to be observed how we arrived at the point of demonstrated or documented on a sheet. You know, it all begins with one tiny transitory brain cell moment when we compete. Well, more likely when we contemplate that some ephemeral twinkling might become. Now, that minuscule particle of contemplation just became an idea. And that whiff of an idea now requires an action to become anything more. We must meditate on that thought and allow it to percolate into our consciousness without judging it, befriending it before regarding it. Let it flourish before it is decapitated and discarded. Immediate action time is here now. Write it down. Secure the time and place and conditions, and possibly an application where you think this idea might work. It has a potential priority in your life. Fortify these little flashes with as many hints as you can for later recognition. Write them out. Carry that little book. Ideas often arrive in swarms. And like the bothersome little gnats, we swat them away thoughtlessly. Now, creativity is the part where we begin to realize which one of these bothersome clan to keep and or to work on. The captured ideas are the only ones that can transform into fully illuminated and inspired products. When that light of creation echoes within our heart and within our brain, possibilities explode like popcorn. How many ways can we use that idea? What is it now? Oh, the possibilities improve, redo, or become different. These are the moments that intrigue us and spark exhilaration into more refined products. But by all means, keep your first impression, but make sure that the stimulus pushes you to ignite all the way and that the molecules boil up and beyond. Now, past couple of weeks have given me time to contemplate these ideas between by-hour vitals check and blood draws. How did other photographers deal with this creative path? One conclusion stood out to me rather boldly. Yeah, as I thought about this, immerse yourself. Edward Weston, 1886 through 1958, he kept a running diary of his life and photography over a period of time. These notes have been published as the daybooks of Edward Weston, and you can get it and read it and see why he spent his time photographing various subject matter. The series of peppers that he photographed illustrates how he made images of his lunch delicacies under different conditions. The fact that he spent time observing, viewing, and photographing peppers provided him with a set of well-seen images. Do you want to perceive more about your subject? Then you gotta spend more time with your subject matter. Take a look at a group of these. Pepper number 2 from 1929. Pepper 1930, 14, pepper 35. Oh, my favorite. Ugh. Pepper number 30. Isn't this the most famous of them all? Pretty cool. Hey, have you ever heard of the poet of Prague? Well, if not, let me introduce to you Joseph Sudek, 1896-1976. He was a bookbinder. During the First World War, he was drafted into the Austro-Hungarian Army in 1915, and he served on the Italian front until he was wounded in the right arm in about 1916, which led to that limb being amputated off at the shoulder. After the war, he studied photography for 2 years. He went to Prague and really got involved in this. His Army disability pension gave him some leeway to make art, and he worked during the 1920s in a romantic, pictorialist style. But he was always pushing the boundaries. You know, the story was a local camera club expelled him for arguing about the need to move forward from painterly photographs and do something better, something more, something different. Despite being left with only one arm, Sudak used a large format camera, 8x10. God, can you imagine that? During his career, he extended into the mid-70s with one arm. Joseph never married. He was really a very shy and retiring person. As he became famous and began showing his work, He never appeared at the exhibit openings. And very few people ever appeared in his photographs. His work does contain a great deal of thoughtfulness. You know, when you're alone and can spend some time with that, he photographed what he experienced, what he saw in his limited personal surroundings. He showed little interest in ego or fame or fortune. And for the most part, he was like really happy doing his own thing. Since he was relatively poor, his photographs of the world and the world that he was immersed in, like Weston, he photographed his lunch because that was what he was most closely tethered to. Take some examples here. I think his images are absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at them. Here's a portrait of Joseph himself. Rather curmudgeonly looking, but how dedicated and how hard he worked with one arm to do this kind of work. He was really into it. He really thought about what he needed before he started, and then he accomplished it. Now, let's take a look. Ansel Adams, 1902-1984. Well, he hardly needs any introduction to the photographers of the world. He galvanized his reputation as the best landscape photographer in the world in the 1930s through the 1970s. His environmental masterpieces of the Yosemite Valley have stood the test of time. Why? Because Ansel fully understood the purpose of the national park's goals, and his personal sentiments closely aligned with them. The park wanted a pristine wilderness reserve, and he wanted that totally endorsed with a romantic beauty that perhaps only he could convey through his work. You've got to understand your purpose. What do you want to tell us about what you are taking a picture of? Can you see what you wanted to tell us? Take a look at the back of that camera. What did you want to tell us? Is it conveying it? You got to understand the purpose. Not only did Adams grasp what he wanted to illustrate, but, having a legacy gallery in Yosemite National Park provided him a great deal of time for full immersion. We're back to this again. So he understood his purpose. He was fully immersed in the subject matter. He was 2 points up on everybody else that even owned a camera in those days. Relishing his time in the valley allowed Ansel every opportunity to examine the range of light. His visual masterpieces, Yosemite and the Range of Light book, is outstanding. I believe it's still available, published in paperback. It's absolutely gorgeous. He encountered the daily trivial, almost monotonous, glacially slow changes of light and atmosphere over the decades of the communicated beauty of the subtleties. Better than all of that, either by car or mule train sometimes, he photographed the elusive from many unique points of view that he got out on foot and he took a look and he found out the more you look, the more you see. Take a look at some of what Ansel saw. Clearing winter storm. Whoa! The gates of the Yosemite Valley. Half Dome in the Merced River. Oh. You know, the strangest thing about the world and how it looks so different from every other point of view. Quote from Lauren Oliver. In a delightful departure from Michael Kenna's, he was born in 1953, still living, departure from his stunning landscape photographs, he did a book entitled Monique's Kindergarten, which was published in 1997 by Nazreli Press. Kenna became involved with his daughter's school as a parent and then as a supporting Imagineer, an artist exploring the childhood environment. Over a couple of years, Michael returned several times to photograph the classroom. Now, he did this way down at the child's point of view, which resulted in 65 remarkable images. I love this book. When I saw this, I mean, it was buy it now. This is stunning. Most of these images are so atypical of Kenna's style. Viewers would not attribute them to him. Take a look at what I mean. His book puppets, the tug and barges. Oh, the little summer dress. The brooms. The fire brigade. I like that. I want one. Becoming more responsive to how you wish to illustrate your subject matter will help you find a more imaginative point of view. And it's not always standing straight up or on a tripod. Sometimes you got to get down, get up, you've got to try. Find the viewpoint that really describes what you're looking at. Now, the noteworthy photographer William Eggleston, born 1939, still living. He's getting a little old now, but still doing great work. He was born in Tennessee and raised in Mississippi. He is highly credited with increasing the recognition of color photography as a legitimate artistic medium. Eggleston is a multifaceted man, and read his outline in Wikipedia. I think he's fascinating. He attended a lot of school, never graduated, but he did, however, learn his lesson photographically so well that he taught at Harvard. His early associations with color transparencies in the 1960s has taken him on a long and winding adventure. Bill jumped into a new commitment of dazzling and totally out of the ordinary blazing color, which solidifies his reputation in photography. Once Eggleston got going, he found a new purpose. Yeah, here's another one. Find your purpose. He found it in color, and it led him amid an entirely new scheme of work. Have you ever taken the time to just sit back and kick your feet up and think, why do I shoot the way I do? Hey, If you want color, use bucket loads of color for effect. I'm going to have Matt put up a short video here, a URL, so you can go look it up later. But it's only 4.5 minutes long. Take a look at this little piece of William Eggleston. You'll be fascinated. He's really a different critter. Always having a camera with you certainly adds to your expressiveness. Now, I don't know how many times I've talked about this. Do you carry a camera? Are you a photographer? I mean, at least I've got my phone, if nothing else. But most of the time, you'll see me with one slung over my shoulder. And I'm not afraid to use it anywhere. If you want to be expressive and be immersed, carry a camera and see what's going on. Take a look at some examples of Eggleston. First time I saw this of the tricycle, I was a little baffled. I thought, what the heck? I mean, this is pretty simplistic. A tricycle sitting in the middle of the driveway. Take a look at it. What do you see? What do you know about these people? Take a look at the diner. And I love this because I shoot diners. I like this one. This is really a kicker. The Democratic Forest. Boy, you want some color? Eggleston it. Or the red ceiling. The guy is overboard, but he gets his point across. This next one, everything we ever needed, is a pretty neat photograph. And here's a picture of Eggleston himself from an article about him in Vogue magazine. One thing I observed while working on this episode is that the dash is very important. Each of our featured photographers was listed with their year of their birth, then a dash, and finally the year of the death, if deceased. If they're still alive, I mentioned it. But that teeny weeny lowly dash represented everything they accomplished during their lifespan. Now, to many, this may seem to be a meager triviality, but I beg to differ. It represents the good, the bad, the ugly. It represents things discovered and things illuminated for others to enjoy. It represents the blood, the sweat, and the tears. I admit I often many tears come. Please make the dash in your life count. Our friends, I beseech you to join with us. Subscribe, ring that bell, give us a giant thumbs up. Our time has elapsed for today, and we tried to offer some suggestions that will help you not only change your life, but also change your heart. We anticipate that if you place yourself in a passionate, creative mode, you'll capture cracking great images all the time. Seek the impossible, our friends, and you'll never be disappointed. Now, Matt and I salute you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping build some value into our channel. Now, on a personal note, while I was in the hospital recently, I want to thank all of you who texted, who emailed, who dropped by, who called, and sent your well wishes. I appreciate every single thought and prayer, and I'm grateful for it. I'm glad to be back with you. So until we meet here again, I offer a tip of my hat to you, and I say cheerio.